and some of the responding officers are now under investigation. Authorities were eventually able to stop Ramos from continuing the carnage, but it was more than an hour after he entered the school. Rebecca Lopez walks us through the timeline and protocols in place for emergencies like this. Now, we need to say ahead of time, the video you're about to see can be painful to watch, but it's an important piece to understand what happened.
It is a moment no parent ever imagines they would have to go through. This is video of mothers and fathers outside Robb Elementary School begging officers to go inside to help their children.
It is so hard. It's hard to take. It's traumatic.
And while a community mourns, law enforcement now has to conduct dozens of interviews and go through videos from inside and outside the school. Today, they released new information and tried to answer the question of what took so long for officers to take the suspect down an hour after he entered the school.
Officers are there. The initial officers, they receive gunfire. They don't make entry initially because of the gunfire they're receiving.
DPS says that when the shooter got to the school, he started shooting at the building almost immediately. They now say there was no school resource officer that confronted the suspect before he went inside.
He walked in unobstructed initially.
4 minutes after he entered, DPS says multiple officers went inside.
They hear gunfire. They take rounds. They move back, get cover.
DPS says those officers called for backup and more equipment while also trying to evacuate students and teachers. Meanwhile, they say the suspect would fire sporadically at officers from behind a locked classroom door, so they waited for a SWAT team. We asked former DISD Chief Craig Miller, who is an expert in school safety, if officers should have attempted to breach the door even if they were taking fire.
In schools, we're taught to encounter that threat and to continue after that threat, not to wait necessarily on a full team before we go ahead and take on that threat.
He says after Columbine, officers have been trained to not wait.
Collectively, there could have been a plan using some of the weaponry that was available to the officers to go ahead and make entry into that location.
State Representative James White, who heads the Public Safety Committee, told WFAA Inside Texas Politics that the blame is with the shooter, not the officers.
The blame is squarely on the person that went into that school and shot and murdered those kids.
Still, parents in the community want answers. Could a quicker response have saved more lives? In Dallas, I'm Rebecca Lopez.